welcome to another Wednesday episode of the Hockey Think Tank, where we do our short shifts. In case you didn't know, short shifts are sponsored by Skate Tech Skate Sharpening Equipment Repair that brings you NHL quality service at an affordable retail price. With over 23 years, we might have to update that, could be 24 by now, of sharpening and equipment customizing experience, Skate Tech serves as your personal equipment manager, providing the highest quality skate sharpening, blade profiling, team uniforms, and equipment alterations available on the market today. Let Skate Tech help you take your on-ice performance to the next level with the edge the pros trust. Check them out at skatetechsharpening.com.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? Happy Wednesday, if it is Wednesday for you. But these come out on Wednesday short shifts. 10 minutes are on the clock. Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio has no idea what the topic is going to be, but should he choose to accept this challenge, we are going to have some fun today. Vex, you ready to rock and roll?
Hi.
It is NCAA tournament time, baby. It is NCAA tournament time, and as we are recording this podcast, it is Friday, March 27th, and the Western Michigan Broncos are winning 2-1 in period 3 against Minnesota State Mankato. It is Hunter Brinker versus Lavecchio. Oh, who's going to be the winner? Here we go. And we got Michigan later today. We got Cornell later today. This is the best time of year. And so my short shifts that I want to talk about here today is when you get to the tournament, when you get to the playoffs, I would argue, and I have zero stats to back this up, a lot harder to score. It's a lot harder to score. It's the end of the year. Everybody's bought into the systems. If you're into the tournament, you're probably really bought in as a team. You probably compete pretty good. You probably have good goaltending to be in the playoffs, to be in the tournament, all this kind of stuff. And so how do you create offense when the defense is locked down? That's what I want to talk about today. So you're playing against a really good defensive team. You're playing at this time of year in the tournament when everybody's kind of locked down. How do you generate offense? How do you win? Go.
Like in the offensive zone or just kind of in general?
In general. I don't want to – well, you could go to the offensive zone, but this was more macro. Let's go.
I mean, I'd say if you have a team that's a good forechecking team, I'd be just trying to get the puck behind them and in their zone. Like the more time the puck is in the other team's zone, the more likely you are that there's going to be a mistake, a bobble or something. Like you're forcing them to make a mistake. You're playing close to their net, you know? So like, I'm not saying always dump it in, but like little chips behind them, chip and get it, not dump it. So that's a possession turnover, but more like, I mean, if you have to dump it, then put them through the wall. Keep your jumps away from the goalie. When you're in zone, I'd be going low to high a lot. Lots of shots wide with guys tipping, like things like that. If they're like completely in the lanes and they're locked down, like Toph's saying, I'm a guy, my playing style that I like and I like coaching is funneling pucks to the net. You know, I know there's people who say possession and they don't like that. That's not me. I like getting pucks to the net, especially in playoff type of games, because it's harder to score. Like Toph said, teams are locking down, things are tight. I just want to funnel to the net, get to the net. Off a skate, doesn't matter, still counts. Off a shin pad, doesn't matter, still counts. Rebounds, second chance opportunities. Let's be men or women, but like, you know, hey, let's be men around the net, not boys. Like, let's get in there, let's find the puck, let's battle, let's win those battles around the net from the offensive standpoint. Like I said, like you just got to get the puck in their zone. That's where the magic's happening.
Yeah, well, the best defense is to have the puck.
Yeah, weird. Can't get scored on if you have the puck.
Yeah, so, you know, you talked about low to high, get in front. Like, what's important to you as a player who excelled at that? Like, you were a net front player and scored most of your goals if it wasn't a breakaway from Stas, you know, in offensive zone, second chance, you know, gritty goal type mentality. What does it take to be successful in that role?
You have to be willing to get a little bit beat up. Like, I mean, that's part of it. You want the goals that come within, you know, a foot from the net. I'm not going to say that I'll say that there's more simple goals. They're not easy because you got to have some bag. You're going to get beat up. You're going to get slashed. You're going to get checked. You're going to get crossed. You're going to get sticked, right? But like, you have to find the puck quickly, get to the net, and like always be kind of like moving, never standing still where you're like an easy defensive target where a D-man just has to come up next to you or behind you and they jam and lift your stick and their stick is close to your hand, so they have leverage to lift and keep your stick up. It's really hard to get down and find a rebound if you let a D-man get that close to you. So always moving your stick so that they can't ever lift your stick at the time where you're trying to tip or screen or get that rebound. And then just like using your body. Toph put out a great video on Twitter. It was either yesterday or 2 days ago. If you don't follow Toph on Twitter, you're an idiot, and you should follow him because he's by far the best hockey teacher on Twitter of things that happen in the NHL. It's not even close. But you showed a reverse check. A guy had the puck. Maybe it was one of the Kachucks. I don't remember.
Brady
Kachuk had the puck, and the defensive player is coming to hit him. And instead of waiting to be hit, he throws his shoulder into the defender at the last second, throws the defender off balance. What does that do? That creates a little separation. Separation means you have time to make a play, make a move, whatever it is. You can do that same thing in front of the net. Push off on the D-man, hit him, and then move your stick to the other side of your body. Rotate your butt. The Panthers, one of the Panthers coaches told me about this. He's like, be a tripod. Stick your butt into the defender, put your stick out in front of you so you can lean on it, because back then they could kind of cross-check you. He's like, you'll never get pushed off balance, and they can't lift your stick, and you just keep moving your stick to where like you can show your D-man on the point who's got the puck, where's your stick for a tip type of thing. And then your body's already rotated. You can rotate and find that puck really quickly. You know, for me, I got better at scoring around the net by in practice, going to the net and playing like it was a game. So I'd also say that you want to do that in games, you got to do it in practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think scoring is just as much, if not more, a mentality than it is anything skill.
Yes.
You know, and I learned that like when my senior year of college, I was always a pass first player. My entire career, I was a pass first player. That's why you loved playing with me. You were a shoot first player.
Yes. Yes.
But my senior year of college, I was like, I'm going to change my mentality. I am going to be shoot first more. And so I made it a habit. Whenever we did a 2-on-1 drill in practice, I always wanted the puck, and I didn't I literally made myself into a shooter. Like I programmed myself. Every 2-on-1, I shot the puck. I didn't pass. And that was only to develop my mentality and my mindset. And I doubled my goal total for that year than any other year I played. Right.
Which is a lot.
It's no, it actually isn't. I have
no, I mean, it's a lot to double your goal total. That's a big deal.
I have one record at Cornell. Have I ever told you what my record is?
No.
Hottest
guy?
Definitely not. Actually, right. I probably have two records at Cornell. Number one is smallest hockey player probably in program history, but the other one is of all the players that got 100 points, I had the fewest amount of goals.
Oh wow!
Yeah, fewest amount of goals for
I had a record in hockey too. I tried to take my skate off and stab somebody.
Lafferty, Daniel, and Gilmore. Happy, yes.
How many goals did you have out of? Do you know how many points you had in total? In college?
I think it was 108.
Okay,
and I think you can fact check me. I think it was like 25-ish, 26 goals, somewhere in that range. So yeah, like I was a passer, man. Like that's yeah. Anyways, so I think 107 and 25. I don't know, something like that, and. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. First thing I want to say is, yes, it is a little bit harder to score in the tournament, in playoffs, for the reasons that I talked about earlier. Don't change your identity as a team. You know, like if you try to reinvent the wheel for the tournament, or you try and change how you play so much, like it's going to just throw the players off, and you're not going to play towards what I think is the most important thing in winning at this time of year, and that's identity, your team identity. So like literally, like don't change that much.
Love that.
If anything at all. But what I will say is, if I'm a coach and I'm going into this, I'm probably going to throw a couple net front small area games into our practice plan throughout the week, because there is a lot of dirty garbage type goals at this time of year. And so like making that a part. So we're not like we're talking about it a little bit. We're not changing everything that we do, but then putting them in situations, and that'll help your team both offensively and defensively to be really good around the net. And I also think for one, like capitalize on your power play. I would also do a lot of special teams because I think special teams, when 5-on-5, it's a little bit harder to score. Like putting a little bit more of an emphasis on special teams in practice is important too. So I think you hit the nail on the head there. Hopefully some of the stuff that I talked about here at the end can help too, but like, don't change who you are at this time of year. I've seen that and it doesn't go well. I've also seen teams lean into identity, and that usually goes a lot further than, you know, the whole tactical side of being at this time of year. So anyways, hope you guys like this one. Happy week. We love you. Time's up.
Share the show.